Hello everyone, welcome to Scorcher Toys at anymoon.com's transformation guide for the Evolution Toy AFC01 Legioss. Today we are going to start in soldier mode, move to diver, and end up in fighter mode. This transformation guide would work for any of the Evolution Toy Legioss variants, and if you're shopping for any of them, check out Big Bad Toy Store by clicking the link in the comments below. I am going to start by turning the toy around and unpegging the wings from the nose cone. And then once they're unpegged, you can swing them out and open them up and then just bring them back down. And while you're back here, go ahead and bring your legs together. That's going to help you in just a moment. Turning our attention to the front, I'm going to push in this little chest hump. And then I'm going to bring my head up and bring the fin down if you've got an iota or iota or zeta or zeta version of the toy. And then once you've done that, you can just rotate these intakes up. Now make sure your wing is getting around that leg. That's why we've pinched them in. And once you've got it totally vertical, this is a good time to get your fingernail in underneath the intake and pry it upward, because we have these chest specific intakes for soldier mode that we are going to replace with the deeper intake that's meant for diver or fighter modes. You can see there's a C-shaped slot and a peg inside. And so we will just line that up. And if it doesn't seem to go right in, you probably have the wrong intake piece. So go ahead and repeat on the other side. Now we need to just kind of fold the toy over at the legs. And the easiest way to do that is actually to bring out your arms, bring out the wings, rotate the leg at the hip to get it flat like that. And then it rotates up a little bit easier. And then you can bring it over like this. And you'll have it lined up when the curve of the intake mates with that line on the thigh. So that should be how it looks. Then at this point, we could bring our kneecap down and bring our knee forward. And then we can open up our foot and bring our toe down, and we're going to repeat that with the other leg on the other side. Okay, so I think you know where this is going to go. We're just going to bring our wings down and then bring our arms down and maybe twist them into the position we want them to be in. Turning the toy around. Your sensor array is probably like down like that right now. You're going to want to go ahead, get your sensor array into the same position it was in soldier mode, and then coming to the back, the little VTOL vent should probably be pointed back, so you've got a propulsion point for your Armo diver. All right, there you go. Enjoy your toy in diver mode, and we'll be ready to continue on to fighter. One of the trickier aspects of getting back to fighter mode is the hand and collapsing the arm. So what we want to do, let's open up this panel so we can take a look inside. And you can see I've got this big gap at the elbow joint. You need to have that be flush. So it should look nice and tight like so. And then with your hand, you're going to want to make it into as much of a fist as you can with those 3 fingers that are on their own little joint. And you're going to want to have that thumb tucked in, okay? So you're going to take these 3 fingers, press them in as much as you can. And now I will bring this closed. Try to make it so you can see it as I do it. All right, so I'm bringing that closed. Now this part doesn't have clearance when everything is contracted fully. So I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap up at the top. I'm going to press this in, and hopefully I can bring this piece down on top of it. You can hear there was a click. Now what sometimes happens with that is the fingers pop off. And a better answer really might just be take your fingers off, throw them in the box, and then not worry about them. But you can, as you just saw, get them in there, and then we can just pinch things up at the top to get our arm all nicely contracted. We'll worry about the stabilizers later. This step is a little bit different if you have a first version of the toy, a first release of the toy. What you want to do is you want to open up this back panel. You want to push down on this hinge to make sure you've got the clearance to bring this door up, and then you kind of need to push it in and out so you can flip it over like that. We're going to obviously close this array up and push it flat up against that door, bring it over, and it's going to peg in on to the intake on the other side in 2 different spots. And you can see the reason this is different on later releases is this is now smashing up against the back of that housing. So let's get this kind of into place. Now it's a very tight fit for some reason on this toy, but there it goes. So that's all hammered down now. We'll just close that door up. A little bit awkward of a fit. We can push this back in, but there you go. So that's how you get your blue version into place. If you got a green or red version, it's a little bit smoother. You just push this fin down. You're gonna slide it back. You don't want to slide it all the way back because then you'd get the same problem you had on the blue version. So we're just gonna slide it back to about there, open up that panel in the back, and we're gonna make sure our hinge and that white piece of plastic aren't interfering with the door over there. And then we're gonna try to pop it sort of up and over and push in on the array as we fold things down. Now, again, you don't want to be too far back with the array, and you can push it in and peg it in like so, and then close up that door. I'm gonna go ahead and put my toy in VTOL mode now. I'm gonna start with the arms. We're just gonna bring them to the back of the toy, and there's a little tight spot here. Let's see if we can wiggle jiggle past it. There we go. So that's in position now. I can do the same thing with the other arm on the other side. Obviously, this arm's floppy, the other arm's super stiff, and that's Evolution Toy in a nutshell for you. But then we can just pull our wings out, and there we go. We're in that VTOL mode. Now we're going to focus on the legs, and we're going to start that off by turning the toy around and bring your legs out like so. Now, if this vent is still up, we could just go ahead and push that down now. Once those are up, you can go ahead and bring the legs back fairly easily. Now, obviously, we've got our feet way open. We're gonna go ahead and close those up now. And I do have a QC issue on one foot. That's gonna make that a little more exciting than it should be. But once you get the legs coming back, you wanna straighten them out. And I think it's best, let's get that straight, to go ahead and start the collapsing of the legs. So you're just pushing straight up. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side and get them nice and collapsed. And then what we're gonna do is get these pegs out. So we have a peg on this side. Actually, it goes up the other way probably. You're probably gonna need some sort of assistance to make this work, because that is tough. Let's see if we can get it. All right, so get that up and out. On the other side, you're doing the opposite thing, which, there it goes. So now you have a peg and a slot, and you want to line them up and just push up and get that all tight together. And you can bring your kneecaps back up to lessen that big gap that you would have on the side. And there you go. You are in pretty close to fighter mode. Now, obviously, we need to get these winglets back tucked in. And then we need to get our arms, and they have little pegs coming off of them. And we're just gonna peg that in. Now, I do have a bay on my green version that doesn't actually peg into position. So I'll just pop that back on, and I will peg in the arms. So there we go. Now we've got the arms in, and now I can take my vertical stabilizers. They do have a little handy spot. You get a fingernail in there to pop them open. And there you go. Now, those pegs aren't the best, so there you are. You are in fighter mode. Fine-tuning wise, you're probably going to want to do something with the feet so it looks like they can actually cause propulsion. So just pull the toes out a little bit. Again, I have got a QC issue that's causing one foot to dangle down. But otherwise, that's it. Head should be tucked in. So if your head is coming down pretty sloppy, go ahead and give it a little push up. And there you are. You are back in fighter mode. Check out anymoon.com for my full review. As always, thanks for watching.